You have been pretty outspoken on recent events. I'm interested in lots of things that you've had to say. Politics attracts a particular kind of macho, willy-waving man, you said. Just tell us a bit more about what you meant by that.
Did I say that? That was quite rude of me, wasn't it? Look, I think anybody in politics is quite assertive, they're quite outspoken, they hold strong views. What we see in Westminster, though, and what I've witnessed over the course of the last 12 years since I've been an MP, is what I would describe as the deliberate belittling and demeaning of women MPs, a culture which fosters a lack of respect. You know, I can remember being told when I was a very new minister that I'd only been given that job because of certain body parts that I had. And that was what people were saying to my face. Who knows what they were saying behind my back? And for me, we have to get away from this sort of male-dominated culture. I desperately want us to get to a position where we see more women in Parliament. I'd love it to be 50-50, but it's taking too long to get there. And in the meantime, we're still having to contend with some really outdated and, frankly, unpleasant attitudes.
That was an extraordinary example that you just gave me about when you were appointed as a government minister, what one of your colleagues, I'm assuming, said to you. Is that an isolated example of your own experience of outright sexism and misogyny?
No, it's not isolated. It's not isolated at all. And that's the challenge. And every single week, probably, there'll be some sort of microaggression. And I don't mean every week I'm the victim of a direct insult or some sort of assault. Of course I'm not. But there will be small comments, little bits and pieces here and there that you just pick up and you think, goodness me, nobody says that about a man. Every time a male politician goes on the media, nobody comments on what their hair looks like or what they're wearing. But pretty much every time a female politician does, that's what we face. And the thing that I always comment on is every time I do a media appearance, the first email into my inbox will be absolutely about how I looked, usually to call me fat, rather than anything that I've said.
Goodness me. I guess perhaps it's because women are a minority in Westminster that you might make an argument that because we're unusual creatures in that place, I think we're about a third, that people go, oh, you know, look at her hair or make other comments. Now, you said that you'd like to see a 50-50 Parliament. Of course, I was a Labour MP. Labour wanted to change things. The only way they could get there was through women-only shortlists. Is it time for the Conservative Party to recognise that there's only one vehicle to get that 50-50 thing?
Well, look, if you'd asked me 12 years ago, in fact, many people did I support women-only shortlists, I'd have said no. And I would have given you the normal standard mantra about MPs or candidates should be selected on merit. No, of course they should. We want the best people to stand for election. But we don't want women to be excluded either consciously or subconsciously. So I'm arguing that you need to have much better forms of recruitment and selection. We know that there are some great leading companies in the UK that have recognised the language that they use in recruitment puts off women. So guess what they did? They changed the language. I know that the processes that we go through in selecting our candidates to stand for election, in many instances, it's like asking a marathon runner to do the shot put. It's completely inappropriate and unrealistic for what you'll be expected to do and the skills that you'll need as a member of Parliament. You and I would recognise every single week we hold constituency surgeries where people come to you with their problems. And one of the biggest skills that you need is empathy, an ability to understand people's situation, to take on board the information they're giving you quickly, and yet you will still be judged by the performance standing for selection that you have to give a speech in front of a large audience. And to be frank, that's not the bread and butter of the job. I think there's a really interesting and important debate to be had within the Conservative Party around women-only shortlists, around whether you reserve some seats for women, whether you have a priority system when there are retirement seats. We all recognise those safe seats when long-standing members of Parliament stand down. Maybe we need to be prioritising them for women. And the stark reality is that your average female member of Parliament will serve one full parliamentary term less than her male counterpart. Why is that? Is that because we end up in the marginal seats? Is it because, to be quite frank, we go through 10 years or so of low-level, insidious misogyny at every turn and go, you know what, I've had enough.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.